Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and additional home to the Game Sports Show, Sportscenter Bar and Grill. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, located on 624 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Sportscenter rated top sports bar for the second year in a row. At Sportscenter, enjoy their famous 75-cent wing night along with delicious Molson products on tap, along with a great atmosphere and other great food options available as well. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar. Booyah, and it's time for the Game Sports Show. It's yours truly, David McCaig, here live at Sportscenter Bar and Grill. It is June the 13th, 2018, Wednesday. And as I said, this is the top right there, Sportscenter Bar and Grill. So, of course, it is Wednesday, and we're here on their famous 75-cent wing nights, and the wings are served until midnight tonight, and they're only... And boy, these are the best wings in town, and they got some delicious fries that can go along with them, and some great Molson products available as well on tap and in bottles here. Molson invading Sportscenter Bar and Grill, rightfully so. They got Creemore here, they got Coors Banquet, they got Canadian, they got Coors Light, they got everything you could want and desire from Molson Canada. So you got to make sure you come on down to Sportscenter Bar and Grill and join the Game Sports Show and be a part of it in attendance while we're here, and just be a part of the great atmosphere and great food at Sportscenter Bar and Grill, and obviously the great service that Frank Ligori and Frank Ligori staff put on here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill. And it's an atmosphere like no other tonight, as always at Sportscenter, like it is every Wednesday. It's always packed here for the 75-cent wing night. So make sure you come on down to Sportscenter to have and enjoy some Molson products, some food, and also be in attendance for, of course, the Game Sports Show here to one of the homes of the Game Sports Show, Sportscenter Bar and Grill. Here doing the introduction portion of the show and the agenda, along with a few picks in this introduction portion before we bring in the guests and get into the meat and potatoes of the show. But like I said, going to get through the usual introduction portion of the show. And the next step in the introduction portion is stating our sponsors for the Game Sports Show. Obviously, one of the homes, Sportscenter Bar and Grill, another home to the Game Sports Show that will be at tomorrow night, Thursday, June the 14th. Boston Pizza, myself, Brad Cochmelio, and Justin Heichel, and usually Dane Hantro, but he obviously has the summer off and will return in September. Are live on location at Boston Pizza after 9 p.m. and we hope to have some guests on tomorrow night for tomorrow night's edition of the Game Sports Show, the Thursday edition at Boston Pizza. And obviously Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, and Boston Pizza being a part of the Game Sports Show, joining in January of this year. It's been great there, as well as the Game Sports Show has had a great hockey and baseball edition there of the Game Sports Show. Is here Wednesdays at Sports Center. It is variety of sports, mostly towards in the pocket, basketball, golfing, and sometimes WWE as well. And also home to the Game Sports Show Mondays on the Wicked Sister, and that is in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. It is sometimes Mondays or Tuesdays throughout the summer, but it's myself and Scott Nason alongside EJ Russell and Butch Davis, mostly on Mondays live on location at the Wicked Sister. First hour on radio, last hour podcasted, but both hours podcasted on the Podbean page, which you can hear on thegamesportshow.podbean.com. You can also look at www.thegamesportshow.com as well, and you can listen to previous shows of the Game Sports Show on the Podbean or the website, and also look at some About Me of the page, look at the merchandise portion where you can look at the $25 t-shirts that we have for sale. Great t-shirts for only $25 with 100% of donations going towards charities Northern Quitters in Need and Big Brother Big Sister. And like I said, 100% of the proceeds going towards charity, so it's for a great cause, and you get to support a local show that has grown in its popularity, as I can proudly state here, in the past 3 years of its existence. And we're much thankful of the listeners and to the loyal listeners as well here on the Game Sports Show that have made the popularity increase possible, alongside the great list of sponsors that we have as well, and getting to that right away. The list of additional sponsors here in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario: Northern Quitters in Need. We've stated Big Brother Big Sister and Northern Quitters in Need. We stated Sportscenter Bar and Grill, Boston Pizza. There's also Discover the Canvas, Superior Pro Shop, The Salon, and North Shore Sports and Auto, along with newly onto the show as a sponsor, Northern Signs, whom is responsible for the merchandise portion of the show as well. And over in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, we also have Pingator Cleaners. Much thanks to those sponsors, and thanks to Frank Ligori in special here tonight, the owner and operator of Sportscenter Bar and Grill. And, you know, I must say, when the show started about 3.5 years ago here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the plans of the show have been, as I felt at the time when we started 3.5 years ago, I felt like they'd be a dream, but everything has become to reality, and I must say quickly, once again, the much thanks to listeners and sponsors for making dreams reality on my behalf, but also to provide you, the listeners, the Twin Sault's only regional, local, and national sports show, and to see it grow up into the thousands of listeners, and to the comments we've been receiving, and to the fan loyalty, and to the reaction we've been getting. Much thanks. I cannot state that enough, and we are very thankful here on the Game Sports Show. And Scott Nason will be the board operator as always tonight here for the Game Sports Show, and he is the true heartbeat of the show and the original starter, individual that came up with the name of the Game Sports Show in the United States over in Sault Ste, Michigan, and he's allowed me to spearhead over here in Canada, and it's been great, him and I as a team, and we cannot thank you enough, as well as I cannot say many times more, and I cannot say enough how thankful we are again for the listeners. Now listen, getting to the agenda of the show here tonight, here on the Game Sports Show, as I said, it's going to be the usual introduction portion of the show now, and a little bit I am going to be solo for this introduction portion. I'm going to talk to you about the 2026 FIFA World Cup, as Canada gets its, destination picked alongside USA and Mexico to be hosts of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And I'm also going to jump into a little bit of news regarding the U.S. Open. I'm even going to conclude with a little bit of WWE, just based on my perspective of the WWE. Last night, after I was playing a men's league open baseball game, and we went over to one of my teammates' houses, we're watching the recap of WWE Raw from this week. And once again, I must have a little bit of a point when it comes to the WWE. I kind of want to state some points out there. I know usually on the show we did promise that we were going to have Nathan Inch come on the show as a special character of the show, and that still is in transition. However, he has had a child, and much like Dustin Grondin, he is on paternity leave from the show as well. But so here on the Game Sports Show, we do talk some WWE, and I know there's a loyal listener. I must give a shout out to Jordan Zook, who loves to listen to some WWE talk. I'm going to give him some points that I think with the WWE that I've already touched on this show on the Canadian side and the USA side, but I feel like I should do it again. But those are the 3 points I'm going to jump into in the introduction portion before we get to the next part of the show, the second part, which is going to be when I bring in Coach Matt Premo, newcomer to the Game Sports Show. That's going to be part of the show for the remainder of this summer. He's the coach of the Sabrecats here in Sault Ste. Marie, and we also hope that Premo can make appearances throughout the entirety of the season when we're back to once a week here on the Game Sports Show at Sportscenter Bar and Grill with myself, Jamie Antonello, Justin Heichel, and Dustin Grondin. And speaking of Jamie Antonello, he will be obviously here on the next part of the show, on the second part, and we're going to bring in some special guests, some players from the Sabrecats, and very excited to have the Sabrecats be on the show here on the game and be a partner of the show for the summer and going into the future. And Coach Matt Premo and Jamie Antonello will spearhead those interviews along with myself in that second part with the players they're bringing by, Mike and Taylor. And in the third part of the show, we're going to be talking about, that's me, Jamie, and Matt, we're going to be talking about the NBA, and it's going to be a lot of LBJ talk along with a little bit of Raptor talk as well before we conclude tonight's show. So I must say quickly, speaking of an agenda, the Game Sports Show agenda, every second Wednesday we're here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill throughout the summer after Labor Day in September. We'll be back to once a week here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill. Every Monday at the Wicked Sister with myself and Scott Nason, EJ Russell, and Butch Davis. I must say here on Wednesdays, it's myself, Jamie Antonello, Justin Heichel, and Dustin Grondin, and also Coach Matt Premo. And Thursdays, we're at Boston Pizza, myself, Brad Cuchmelio, and Justin Heichel. And I must say that by tomorrow, hopefully by the end of the week, we're going to have a little bit of announcement with an additional sponsor is going to be coming on board, and possibly an additional show or an adjustment of a show throughout the summer months for sure. And you got to make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow's show with that announcement to come in fruition. And also make sure you keep in touch, as obviously you will be in loyal listeners throughout the summer. We're going to have another sponsor. There's going to be 2 new sponsors coming on the show in terms of specialized locations, and I can't wait to share that with you as we continue to move forward here and gain and grow here on the Game Sports Show. So without further ado though, getting into the appetizer of the show before we get into the meat and potatoes and the dessert of the show, that being the second and third part when I bring in my guests and analysts / co-hosts of the Sportscenter Bar and Grill edition of the Game Sports Show. I'm going to jump into right now the 2026 FIFA World Cup, Canada, U.S., Mexico, getting the dot, getting the check mark, getting the good old-fashioned thumbs up to be a part of hosting the 2026 World Cup. And obviously I'm going to stick towards Canada here, and I must say, the Canadian soccer fans must rejoice and must be very excited and should be very excited that Canada gets the opportunity to host the 2026 World Cup alongside the United States and Mexico that formed a united bid. And you're going to have 3 host nations, 16 cities, and 80 total games being played. And when you're talking about the Canada side, the cities that seem like it's going to be hosting are going to be Toronto, Montreal, and Edmonton, which is amazing. And getting through the entire North America here for the soccer players to come a part of the FIFA World Cup in 2026 is a great opportunity for them to really experience the life in North America. You got Canada, United States, and Mexico, of course. Many great areas in the United States that are being rumored to host, and great cities in Mexico as well. But like I said, it allows these soccer players to come absorb the North American lifestyle. And you know what? I'm very happy that the Great White North of Canada is going to be involved, because it's also going to grow the popularity of soccer in Canada. You know, it is 2018 right now. 2026 is 8 years away. There's this World Cup in Russia that's starting this week. And then you have the next World Cup that is in 2022 in Qatar. And then obviously in 2026, as we obviously know now, being in Canada, the United States, and Mexico. It gives Canada time to develop their youth in soccer and to gain popularity, even more popularity than what TFC has already brought in, and also what Montreal has brought in of the MLS, amongst other Canadian soccer teams as well. So in theory, that having this, Canada's got to be thinking of a strong developmental program and a way that they can be not just participants in the 2026 World Cup, but be competitive as well and be able to match the likes of Argentina, Portugal, Brazil, Mexico, and, well, from my ancestors' background, let's hope Italy as well by then is back to being competitive again as well. And we can see a very, very, very exciting 2026 World Cup by having these 3 countries involved. It just opens up a wider landscape, and it's just, I think FIFA did it perfectly there. Too bad it wasn't any sooner. Too bad we got to wait the 8 years. But let me guarantee you, I believe the 8 years is going to be worth the wait. But hey, if you're Canadian and you're looking to make soccer your career or dream, you got 8 years to put your nose to the grindstone and prove that you can play for Canada's Olympic team. Oh, and I must say that no, I'm not going to be trying out. If you saw me play soccer, I'm not too sure what you think of me anymore, if it'd be positive or if it'd be negative. But I can guarantee you that you would know that I definitely did not play soccer growing up. But I am a fan of soccer. I've definitely been following TFC, and I've always been following Barcelona. And no, I'm not a bandwagon jumper, but I must say how huge soccer is in Europe, obviously. It's their sport. It's amazing. The stadiums that pack in the 75 to 100,000, it's absolutely amazing. I don't think Canada or the United States can get to what Europe is in terms of soccer popularity, but I feel that the United States and Canada, and the reason why I speak of both countries, as I feel, well, it may not even be fair to compare the United States to Canada, because I even think the United States is ahead of Canada in terms of soccer development by, well, a significant margin. But the reason why I'm comparing Canada and the United States is because it's not at the point that Europe is. In Mexico, it's pretty close. Soccer is very popular in Mexico, despite being how close they are here in North America to ourselves and our sister country in the United States. But at the end of the day, Canada and the United States are not at the level of Spain, of even Italy, in my opinion, if you really want to think about it in advance. Or if you want to go to even the extremes of Argentina, you want to go to Brazil, those kind of countries that are high up in the soccer ranks. Can Canada and the United States get there? It's not impossible. Anything is possible. But Canada and the United States are behind, I feel. And also, I feel that they have time now to really catch up and prove that they can be great hosts for 2026 and not just be participants, but also be competitive. Be very interested to see what you, the listeners, think about this. And you know what? Leave your comments on the Podbean page or on the website, or send us an email. Let us know how you think Canada will do at that tournament, or if they're even going to participate in that tournament, if they can get into their own tournament, if they're going to be good enough to compete, all that fun stuff. Shoot me a comment down below letting me know what you think of that. Moving on from the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Wow, that is 8 years when I think about it. I will be 34 years old at that current time. Wow. Time is really flying by when you're having fun. But like I said, moving on to the 2018 US Open. And I'm quickly going to jump into golf here on the Game Sports Show. It's Dave McCaig live at Sportscenter Bar and Grill. The tee-off is tomorrow, Thursday at 6:45 a.m. Dustin Johnson being the favorite to win the tournament this weekend, to win the U.S. Open. Justin Rose right behind him, followed by Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, Ricky Fowler, Jason Day, and Jordan Spieth, with Tiger Woods being notable at 20-1 odds, and Phil Mickelson still cracking the high ends there with a 25-1 odds to win the U.S. Open this weekend. Now, I'm going to go out and say that I think Jordan Spieth should be rated higher than Justin Thomas, in my opinion. I don't know if a lot of people are going to roll their eyes at that or even agree with me on that, but I feel Jordan Spieth is going to come out this weekend and play a very good game. And you know what? That is who I am picking to win the U.S. Open this weekend. I'm expecting a good weekend from Tiger Woods as well as Dustin Johnson, Justin Rose, and also Ricky Fowler. But Jordan Spieth, 18-1 odds, I feel that should be higher, and I feel that he is going to be the one on Sunday hoisting the trophy of the U.S. Open. You know what? I also have my eye on Jon Rahm as well, as do a lot of people. 20-1 odds. I even feel like he can be a diamond in the rough this weekend, but Jordan Spieth being the guy on my end that I am picking to win the U.S. Open this weekend. And before you make any bets or enter a fantasy golf tournament on DraftKings or FanDuel, you know what? Patrick Reed, who is entering the weekend on 40-1 odds, which I think is extremely low. Maybe that is worth the gamble if you're going to be gambling, and maybe jump on that. And let me tell you, anything can happen in the game of golf. There could be someone that we're not even thinking of that can move up. And I'm confident that this weekend will provide a lot of entertainment in the world of golf, but it's going to be Jordan Spieth's weekend. I just can't see Jordan Spieth not winning for some reason when I close my eyes. I think of him winning that title and just him lifting that trophy. Jordan Spieth is a 3-time major champion and is one of the favorites. He doesn't get into the top 5. And yes, he is yet to win on a tour this year, but he does have 3 top 10 finishes, including a 3rd place showing at the Masters. I feel that gives him a little bit of a chip. I don't care about his struggles. He's in the low 70s in the PGA Tour driving distance. He's almost 100th in driving accuracy. And despite this all being stats, Jordan Spieth is having an off year thus far. And I feel the U.S. Open, he is going to spark back. And like I said, when I close my eyes, I can picture him lifting that trophy and smiling and getting back into his game that we all know he can play. That's one of many championships. Who do you think is going to win the U.S. Open? Leave a comment below or shoot us an email at thegamesportshowssm@gmail.com to let us know who you think is going to win the U.S. Open this weekend. Now, I'm going to jump into the wrestling topic very quickly here. Like I said, last night, I watched a quick recap of Raw this week. And if you can remember an earlier edition after WrestleMania of the Game Sports Show, how much I criticized WrestleMania this year, how brutal of an event it was. And there were some exciting matches, don't get me wrong. But that Lesnar and Roman Reigns main event was the worst fight I have ever seen in WWE history. And I used to be an avid fan of WWE, as many of my friends would know. But my whole point of bringing up this topic to the table is how WWE is still, I feel, not improving and being able to grasp
the fans. They still have many loyal fans. And one of those loyal fans being a listener of this show, a fan of the show, and a friend of mine, Jordan Zook, and also a friend of mine, Nathan Inch, and Andre LaFrancois, and many friends that I could name that are avid listeners on the show. And they tell me repeatedly how much they actually enjoy it. And they actually go to live events to watch wrestling. Now, my 12-year-old self would be very excited to go to a WWE live event as long as The Undertaker's coming down the ramp, or Mankind, or The Rock, or Stone Cold Steve Austin. But ever since the good old days, it has not been the same in WWE wrestling. Yes, it was always fake. Yes, it was always scripted. And hey, if you didn't know it was scripted or fake, I'm sorry that I just spoiled it for you. However, WWE is trying to make changes, and they're trying to grow. You got Kurt Angle as a manager. You got some of the older individuals that were, let's say, landmarks of the organization, bringing them in, and good moves for sure. And having Triple H, he's older, Stephanie McMahon, you have a lot of the older still in there, along with bringing in new ones, but it is not the same that what it used to be, and it is not exciting to watch. Maybe it's because I've grown out of it. There's phases in life you grow out of things, but you can tell the fakeness. At least I felt when I was younger, it looked more real. Mankind getting thrown off a Hell in a Cell off The Undertaker looked so real. It looked amazing. The Rock actually hit Mankind with a steel chair back in the early thousands, late 90s it might even have been, and actually hit him in the face, and he had to go to the hospital. And you know what? That's the kind of accidents that do not happen anymore. And yeah, you don't want that kind of stuff to happen. You don't want anybody hospitalized. But these guys were intense. They were absorbed in their roles. I feel now it is all for show. It is all for the fans only, which people say, hey, Dave, that's what it should be for. Yes, it is a business, much like every sport is. However, you need to be able to grow or be able to keep fans happy. And I don't think fans are happy. If you get an overall poll, yes, fans are going to go to WWE event. They're going to go to SmackDown. They're going to go to Raw. They're going to go to NXT events. But if you really sit somebody down, if they tell you that it's the same now as what it was back then, you got to tell them to give it their head a shake, because it's not the same and it is not getting better. Improvements have to be made if they want to attract more listeners. And yours truly, I will not be watching WWE as an avid fan, but I always keep it on the side when I'm on the laptop, or if I'm on the TV, I get a little quick recap of what's going on in the world of wrestling, much in regards to the show, obviously. But you know what? Because of being a former fan, and I would love wrestling to be able to come back and be popular, much like it was. But you know what? The way it is going, it seems like it just continues to be on the negative side of it, and nothing is entertaining, and it is upsetting the fans a great amount. Just look at WrestleMania. Fans chanting, "This is awful," is the first time I have ever seen that in a sporting event, either on TV or live. I've been live to many sporting events, and I've watched many sports on TV, obviously. And I've also seen many videos online involving sports when it comes to fans chanting. But I've never heard a fan base yell out at WrestleMania, especially, that this is awful, and booing. That means it's time for change, and that means they should be considering what they can do. And they are trying, but they haven't found the niche yet. And I think the niche is going to be for them to touch the old roots, but also be more aggressive and be less for show and all for business. Why is there a difference there? Because that is, the wrestlers are the business, and they act out their roles extremely well, where nowadays they do it just for the fans and just for the entertainment. Can't do it for just the entertainment. It is a business. You got to provide that entertainment. But if you have great fighters / wrestlers in that ring, giving you a great show night in and night out, and not taunting fans or looking fake when they throw that left hook or when they slap their chest like Ric Flair, stuff like that, you can make things entertaining for the audience or people in attendance by increasing that intensity, and also bringing in individuals that are passionate about being there more. I feel like when I watch some of these wrestlers, it's not the same as I was watching Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, with Stone Cold grabbing the beer and The Rock raising his eyebrow. Even Triple H with his water spray that he still does. I feel there's wrestlers that cannot keep up to that intensity or that fan favorite kind of perspective on these guys that are so imprinted on my head and many of my generation's heads. And having WWE get back to success is a weak spot of mine. Yes, it doesn't compete with boxing or with MMA, but there's still many attractive points to viewers and still many fans that are attracted to the WWE. And if they do things right in terms of attempting to continue this change, that I do notice that they're trying, they can attract listeners or watchers / viewers, or get more butts in the seats at an expedited rate. Like I said before with previous topics, you let me know what you think about the WWE. Is it going to improve? Are they even improving? Or do you think WWE should not even be a thing anymore? You let me know. You comment on the Podbean page, shoot an email, or on the website comment as well. Well, it's Dave McCaig here, live at Sportscenter Bar and Grill, and that's enough of me talking all solo. I am very excited to bring in my co-host, Jamie Antonello, on this Wednesday Sports Center edition of the Game Sports Show, and new analyst of the show and coach of the Sabrecats, Matt Premo, along with Jamie Antonello being a coach of the Sabrecats as well. Jamie Antonello and Matt Premo will be stopping by after this break alongside two players, Mike and Taylor, as well. So you don't want to go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the Game Sports Show, Wednesday edition, live at SportsCenter Bar and Grill.
Thank you for tuning in to the Game Sports Show, broadcasting Wednesday nights from SportsCenter Bar and Grill in Sault, Ontario, and online at thegamesportshow.com and thegamesportshow.podbean.com. I hope you are enjoying the broadcast. If you want more of the Twin Sault's only local, regional, and national sports talk show, I encourage you to visit our website at thegamesportshow.com. There you can find a pair of broadcasts of the game and the Game Sports Show. If you like hockey and baseball, Thursday nights are for you, as the Game Sports Show is at Boston Pizza in Sault, Ontario, with Dave McCaig, along with regular contributors Justin Heichel, Dane Hantro, and Brad Cochamilio from SiouxToday.com. This show focuses on local and national hockey in the wintertime and baseball in the summertime, and will include guests and interviews from local and national figures. The game can be heard Monday nights on WUPN Eagle 95.1 locally or online at RadioEagleSioux.com starting at 6 p.m. on Monday nights. The full 2-hour show from the Wicked Sister on Ashman Street, downtown Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, can be heard at our YouTube channel. Just look for Scott Nason, or you can hear the podcast of the show at the GameSportsShow.podbean.com. Scott Nason, along with Dave McCaig, Butch Davis from the Telegram News and Butch on Sports, and EJ Russell, as we focus on local sports for the first half of the show, and then regional and national sports, including high school athletics, junior hockey, Lake Superior State University athletics, the Detroit sports scene, and more. Once again, you can hear 3 versions of the game at our website, thegamesportshow.com, or at the podcast page, thegamesportshow.podbean.com. Also on the podcast page, you will find audio broadcasts of Sioux Eagles home hockey games, along with Brimley Bay's basketball, football, and Sioux High Blue Devil hockey, along with Butch Davis and his radio show Butch on Sports, and Scott Nason on ESPN Blacksburg with Paul Van Wagner on The Drive. You can also find us on YouTube. Look for the Scott Nason channel, and thank you for listening, and keep it locked here to the game for all your local, regional, and national sports talk that you just can't get enough of.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank a list of additional sponsors. North Shore Sports and Auto, new location located on 647 McDonald Avenue, Sault Ste. Marie. A family-owned and operated business with doing business in Sault Ste. Marie for over 10 years. Loads of products available for your enjoyment for all seasons. North Shore Sports and Auto, we understand the importance of quality service and products, and we work hard to ensure that all customers have a positive experience before and after each and every sale. North Shore Sports and Auto, meeting all of your new and pre-owned equipment needs. Special thanks to Salon. The Salon, located on 589 2nd Line East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Mike Cuglietta. Book your appointment today at 705-941-9191 or via online at https://thesalonsioux.as.me-. The Salon, making the Sioux beautiful, one haircut at a time. As well as a shout out to the Superior Pro Shop. The Superior Pro Shop, located inside the Community First Credit Union Superior Arena on 285 Northern Avenue East, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Owned and operated by Jeremy Paquin and ran by Larry Monroe. Superior Pro Shop for over 40 years. Meet all of your skate sharpening, skate repair, and hockey needs. Also to Discover the Canvas. Discover the Canvas, located on 317 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. A beautiful, new renovated building owned and operated by expert artist and Sioux native Katrina Thibodeau. Katrina taking her talents of the ink in Sault Ste. Marie and truly creating the best and most realistic art locally. Call Katrina today at 705-450-8099 or email her at discoverthecanvas@gmail.com to book your tattoo or consultation today.
Hi, this is Joe Bowen, and you're listening to the Game Sports Show from Sault Ste. Marie.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show. It's yours truly, David McCaig. Well, for the first little bit, you heard my voice only. And for my apologies to listeners out there, I'm sure you like to hear variety because here on the Game Sports Show, we have a wide list of panel members, analysts. We got board operators. We got waitresses. We got everyone who's a part of the Game Sports Show, a lot of sponsors. So I'm going to bring in a new member to the show. He's going to be on the show as announced on his Instagram page, on the Sabrecats Instagram page, every second Wednesday here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill. Coach Matt Premo to my front left, and Coach Jamie Antonello to my front right. Jamie, who is obviously no stranger to the Game Sports Show, one of the hosts to the famous In the Pocket segment. And as I said in the beginning portion of the show, we're going to have every show that we have here throughout the summer. We're going to have a Sabercats edition of the show, and it's going to be an off-season In the Pocket edition. It's going to be all tied in, and we're going to have coaches on. We're going to have players, and we have some good guys, some good players beside me. We got Mike, and we got Taylor, and Jamie, and Coach Matt Premo are going to talk to them. I'm going to chime in once in a while, but I like to give the floor mostly to Jamie on this one because he's the boss when it comes to the In the Pocket segment, in my opinion. You know, I'm just the guy who likes to open his mouth once in a while. And there's someone in the background here. You might hear his voice in the background, Dustin Grondin, who is still on his paternity leave. He's really milking that paternity leave, may I add. But, you know, Dustin will be on the show eventually soon when things settle down for him. But like I said, we got Matt and we got Jamie right now. We're going to bring in some players. And throughout the summer, we're going to have a lot of Sabercats news and a lot of local football news. And just like on the Thursday show, we're going to have local baseball news now. We got ties in with local minor baseball. We're going to have ties with local football as well. It's great to have the Game Sports Show touch on all local and everything national and professional as well. And without further ado, I'm going to bring the boys in. Jamie first. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Dave. Yeah, back at it again every 2 weeks here. Looking forward to talking to a couple of our players here today.
We have it every 2 weeks for the summer, which is every Wednesday, every second Wednesday. Then after Labor Day weekend in September, we'll be back to once a week here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill. And Coach Matt Premo, you're to my left right now. How you doing, sir?
Good. Great to be back for my second appearance. Looking forward to talking with some of the players here today and talking football and everything else.
Absolutely. Sabercats news we're going to have. And Coach Matt Premo, we hope to have throughout the year as well. Next year with our In the Pocket segment. It's good because if Dustin continues this paternity leave, you know, it'll be good to have Jamie to have another sidekick beside him if one can't join. And here comes the guy right now.
I've been here for an hour and a half and you haven't been here.
Dustin Grondin's first comments on the show in over a year. Well, actually, probably over 8 months. Actually, he's been able to say something. But without further ado, I'm going to let you guys introduce. And if the listeners heard that, yeah, I was an hour and a half late today. Working full-time at the hospital. Then I had to go work and serve at Gino's, coming to do the radio show. Hard day. But I'm glad to be talking sports here. And Jamie, I'm going to give the mic over to you right now. And you're going to introduce the players. And you're going to talk some football. And we're all going to chime in here.
Yeah, it's okay, Dave. We brought players on today especially, and I appreciate you. They're probably excited because they get to push their crew throughs there, and their parents can't get mad at them. So we have Taylor Holub and Michael Giuliani on today, two guys who have been part of the SaberCat program for 4 years. Taylor, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm pretty good, thanks.
Talkative as always. Mike, how you doing, buddy?
Good. Thanks for having me on the show and everything.
Of course, Mike, of course.
And, yeah, I've had the pleasure of coaching both these guys since they were grade 9. They had my first foray into SaberCat head coaching. Not the greatest season back in the day when they were grade 9s. We did not win a game. Hopefully we're really changing the culture and things are starting to move along. I'm going to pass over to Matt here, but before I do that, I'm going to ask you guys just to kind of give us a brief intro. Let the listeners know your football experience, how long you've been playing, and where you go to high school, and how your experience with Sabercats has been so far.
I go to Spear Heights. I've been playing football since I was 8 years old. I'm 17 now. I play for Spear Heights in the fall, and I play for Sault Sabrecats in the summer. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's Taylor Holub again here. Let's talk about positions, where you think our season's going here, Taylor.
I think we're very talented on the defensive side. Not saying our offense isn't talented, but our defense kept us in the last game, and we're really strong back there. But our offense, we have like very talented players in the skills positions, and I think we just need to use them more, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. And Taylor's talking about we lost a nail-biter 8-7 to Waterloo this past weekend. And Taylor plays receiver for us. He's one of our veterans there. And I'm going to pass over to Coach Premo to talk to Mike, who's our starting center.
So, yeah, we got Michael Giuliani as our starting center, second year on the varsity squad. He's been a 2-year starter for us. One of our veteran guys now on the offensive line. We really look to him to lead with his experience he's had. So, Mike, just give us an overview of some of your playing experiences and what your expectations for the 2018 season are.
I play at Superior Heights football in the fall and play Sault Sabrecats during the summer. I feel like we can make it to the finals this year. We have a very talented group of guys, and our defense is very good. Our offense is starting to click. It's going to click in the next couple of weeks, I feel like, and yeah,
So, yeah, just for the listeners who don't know, Taylor and Mike, they were both part of our team last year, and we came up just short of making it to the finals. So we've talked about our goal for the 2018 season, and our goal is to make it that one game further and play in that championship game. So we've talked about it quite a bit throughout the season. So Mike talking about making it to the finals, that's one of our team goals, is to make it there, make it one step further than we did last year.
See, I'm going to chime in to you guys. I'm kind of going to sewer the coaches here a little bit. How is it to be coached by Jamie and Matt? Taylor, I'm going to go to you first. I know you'll give it a quick summary. I really think that Matt would be a great experience. So would Jamie. But I feel like Jamie, a bit more strict than Matt is. Just a little prediction there. That's a little prediction. But I'm not saying Matt isn't strict. I'm just saying I feel Jamie is more of the hard ass, let's say.
I think it'd be the other way around. I don't know. Coach Antonello doesn't really get mad at me that often. He tries to pump me up, and if I do something wrong, he quietly talks to me. But it's different for the other coach, Coach Premo. Yeah, he yells at me a lot. I make dumb mistakes, but they're both good coaches, and I'm glad there are coaches.
Like that. That's good words there. Good words. Mike?
Yeah, they're both very good coaches. Coach Premo gets a little heated more than Antonello does, but he's still a good coach, and yeah, they're both pretty good.
It's definitely good to learn from these two individuals here, I can tell you right now. And going back over to you, Coach, this weekend's performance, tough loss, as you said, against Waterloo. What do you think could have went differently in that game? And I'll go to you, Mike and Taylor, as well, to what you think could have went a little bit different on the games. And Matt, I'll go to you first, Coach.
Yeah, we played a very good opponent. Waterloo was a very strong team. It was their third game in the regular season and our first. So I think we definitely had to iron out some of the kinks. But for the most part, I was pleased with our effort, especially as the two guys mentioned, our defense played very strong. We gave up less than 10 yards rushing in the game, which is really impressive. Our offense, we sputtered a bit. We had a tough time being consistent and moving the ball. We had probably too many 2-and-outs, more than we would like. When you're in the Canadian League and you're getting those 2-and-outs, the field position battle isn't usually in your favor. So that's something we want to work on, being more consistent. We kind of put it together in the fourth quarter, but maybe a little bit too little, too late. But all in all, I was happy with our effort, and a lot of times you learn more in a loss than you do in a win. So we're going to take a lot away. We're still 1-1 right now, and we're in a good position. So we're happy with where we're at, and we're going to continue to improve. And I have no doubts that we're going to get to where we want to go. So.
Mike, over to you about the performance last weekend, last game with Waterloo.
I felt like our offensive line played good on certain plays and not the best on certain other plays. We had a couple mental mistakes and missed blocks, but overall, I think both our quarterbacks played very well. Our receivers played very well, and just got to iron out the kinks that Coach Premo said.
Good. Taylor?
I think our offense struggled a bit, but if we practice a little more and maybe put a few new plays in, trick the defense, then I think we'll be all right. Our defense played really well. They held us in the game all game. Their offense was just done by the end of the fourth quarter. They couldn't do anything. I think they were like the stronger point on our team last game, but once our offense gets going, I think we'll be fine.
Good words. Did they get them to open up? They'll speak a little bit more. James, see, got a lot of words there. But Coach Jamie, I'm going to go over to you in terms of this week, addressing to your next game. So you want to iron out the kinks. I know Taylor's kind of touched on it this week. There's a couple of things he'd like to see change for the next game. But what was the game plan for yourself and Coach Matt Premo here to address those kinks for next game? Or what have you guys been practicing this week? Like, what can you state anyways without spoiling anything for the game?
Before I answer that, I got to address some of what these meatheads have been saying here. Apparently, Taylor was coming for my OC job, wants to put in some new plays. But as far as these guys thinking that Coach Premo's a little bit more hard on them, right? And I think from Taylor's perspective, Coach is his receiver coach, so that's naturally going to happen. And I'm Mike's O-line coach, so that's going to happen a little bit more. But that's just by virtue of we've played the position, we expect more, right? Coach played outside receiver. That's what Taylor plays. I played center. That's what Mike plays, right? We're always going to be hardest on those guys, but both these guys have really stepped up the plate. They understand the culture we want, and I'm going to pass it over to Coach here before we address next week.
Yeah, I just want to get her straight. I only yell because I care. And I tell the guys, I like every single guy on the team, so if I'm yelling, I'm not mad at them. I'm just trying to get my point across.
Yeah, exactly. We try and promote a family atmosphere, right? You're going to fight with your family, right? But you're going to go to battle with them no matter what. And as far as this week, right, it's getting those first game jitters out of the way, right? We still ran the ball really well in week one. Our defense played spectacular. Taylor had the only touchdown for us. Before I start talking about the game plan, I want just to talk to Taylor about just talk through that play, what you saw defensively, and what you were thinking when the play call came in.
I was lined up outside, and I saw there was no safety over, shading over to my side. So I looked back at J-Rob, and he looked at me, and I knew he was coming to me. So I burned the DB and just made a good catch, and he put the ball right where I wanted it. It was a good play.
Yeah, and that was late in the game, right? We've been sputtering all day and finally managed to get it going. Before we continue, right, we had one other real explosive play, and I'm just going to pass it over to Mike here to kind of talk about it. Our running back, Greg, right? You guys are all very familiar, right? He's quite the character, but just what was going on in your mind on that play, right? Power. We were running power, and just talk through how you were feeling after that play happened.
It felt pretty good to see Greg actually run fast and jump over a guy. Did not expect that coming. I don't know. I felt like we blocked that up very well as the offensive line, and then Greg made a very good play. Wish he would have scored, but I guess he got tired or something. And that's about it. Yeah, it was a good play though. Good job, Greg.
And I'm going to pass it over to Coach Premo here just to talk about our game plan, right, and what we're expecting out of Sudbury. Bottom line from my end here, game one, we've kind of beat that to death here already. Got the kinks out. We've got a game under our belts, and all of our players, including these two, understand the rivalry we have with Sudbury, right? We want to defend the North. We want to own the North. Northern Ontario football, the Sioux has dominated over the last couple of years. We want to continue that tradition, but just going to pass it over to Coach here.
Yeah, we've been discussing rivalry week at practice all week and trying to keep our energy up and to really get the players motivated. As Jamie mentioned, it's our closest opponent in the league is Sudbury, so we like to build up the rivalry and get the players excited for that game. As you said, we want to be we want to own the North, be the kings of the North. And we've been preaching that all week in practice, so bringing a really good effort and bringing energy every day. In terms of our game plan, the coaching staff, we've been doing some film study. They do run a different front than we're normally used to seeing, but we've been doing some adjustments how we're going to block up against that. Our defensive wise, they do a lot of pre-snap motioning. So that's a little bit different, and so we've been really looking at how we're going to defend the motion pre-snap. But other than that, when it comes down to it, it's outside the systems, it's winning those individual battles. And like we talked about last week, putting our guys in the competitive atmosphere in practice, and really when you can do that, it makes Saturdays a lot easier.
Like that. It's a good game plan. Didn't spoil what you're going to do. Just discuss what you want to do. I like that. That's good coaching tactics right there. Now I'm gonna put the players underneath the spotlight here a little bit, and I'm gonna go over to you first, Mike. Your aspirations in football. It's always good when you come onto a show. You know, the listeners want to hear what your goals are in football in general or in life in general. You can even state what your favorite music is. It does not matter. Tell a listener about your background and just your goals in terms of football or schools, your passion, or types of hobbies that you do.
I play many sports during the school year. I played hockey this year for Superior Heights. Playing football is my favorite thing to do, though. Nothing's better than it. But I'm gonna come back next year to play football for Superior Heights and Sabrecats again. And then probably go to university or college and see where that takes me with life, and just hopefully it turns out all well.
You thinking anything in CIS, like York or anything like that, or is that just taking it in stride?
Just taking it in stride. Whatever happens with it.
It's awesome. You definitely got some guys that are going to go to bat for you to promote as well, and as we will here on the Game Sports Show, promote Sabrecats football. Taylor, over to you. Same question.
Can you repeat the question?
Absolutely. I was waiting for that. The reason why I asked him that, because I knew he was going to ask that. I like that. No, aspirations in football or goals for yourself. Do you see yourself, you want to play at the college level in football? Do you have other aspirations, or you just play many hobbies or other goals?
I play many sports. I play hockey, football, and soccer. But I'm a soccer star. I just started playing this year, and played the whole game, my first game.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a good season.
Did you snipe?
No, I didn't snipe, but I laid the body a few times. But
Football guy.
yeah, but if in the next few seasons, I get an offer or something, I'll probably talk about it, have a good conversation about that. But just see where everything goes in the next few seasons.
Nice. Now I'm going to ask you a hockey question and a football question and a basketball question all in one. Your favorite professional sports teams of each, if you have them. Hockey, basketball, and football. You first, Mike.
For hockey, I like the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Smart boy. I like him. He's good.
For football, I like the Green Bay Packers, favorite team. And Toronto, for basketball, I like Toronto Raptors. That's mostly, if I watch basketball, I watch Toronto.
Too bad they couldn't go past Cleveland this year, right?
Exactly.
Taylor, yourself, favorite NHL team, NBA team, and NFL team? I thought I'd repeat the question for you just in case.
Yeah. I have the same answer as Mike. I like the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Packers are my team, and the Raptors, they're in Canada, so might as well go for them.
See, now I'm going to get Jamie and Coach Matt Premo to comment on this afterwards, kind of spearing out from just a little prediction question on your standpoint. Andrew Luck is apparently throwing with no pain. Over or under that he plays 4 games this year due to his injury? A little sports trivia question, or sports prediction question for you, Taylor.
I think he'll play over 5. I think he'll play at least 8 games. He should stay healthy for at least half the season.
Good prediction. Mike?
I think he's going to under. He's always hurt, and I just feel like he's not going to be able to do it again.
Like that. Now, you as a Green Bay Packer fan, Rodgers? Yes. Full year, though?
Hopefully. If they play the full year, they're going to win the Super Bowl. If he plays the full year.
It's good. Now, coaches, I'm going to go over to you. Going to stick with, obviously, a little bit of Sabercat stuff. I'm going to go over to get your prediction on the Andrew Luck side of things. And if you have an Andrew Luck on your team. An injury-prone guy.
I mean, we kind of talk about the hurt versus injured thing. If you've ever seen the program before, little boo-boos and sprained pinkies aren't going to really cut it. We're going to tell you to keep practicing. Yeah. It's different from blowing out your knee, right? That's a very different injury. But as far as Andrew Luck, I mean, I'm hopeful. Last year was awful watching the NFL. There were so many injuries, so many stars out of the game. I hope he goes over. I mean, if he has to miss the first couple games of the year to play 12, do that, right? That's going to be better for the team in the long run.
Coach?
Yeah, I hope Andrew Luck's able to play. He was an elite talent when he was healthy. So I hope the over on that 4 games. I was reading he was throwing like junior-sized footballs to start. So hopefully he progresses and can throw an actual NFL regulation-sized football in the next little bit. But I would imagine he'll be over, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what he can do. I don't know how good Indianapolis is going to be. I think that team might be a little bit of shambles right now, but I'd like to see him back and healthy and playing for sure.
It's definitely good for the game of football to have guys like Luck, Rogers, guys playing, guys not get suspended like Zeke, Le'Veon Bell. You know, those guys. Those are the guys that put butts in the seats. That's what's saying sell jerseys, right? So definitely have those guys playing is very important. Now, kind of gearing to the Sabercats side of things for fans. If they want to come watch the game, people that do not know where to watch the Sabercats, or if it costs money or not, if there's admission, can you, Jamie and Matt, can you guys give a little bit of I'll give it over to Matt. You're giving the point to Matt. Over for admission, where to watch, where to even access, where to look at like your website and your Instagram, if there's information on there, so on and so forth?
Yeah, absolutely. So all of our home games are double headers with our JV team. So our JVs usually kick off at 1 o'clock with our varsity games following after at 4 p.m. All of the games are played at Superior Heights. They have an awesome facility now with the new school, new field turf, new field house there. It's awesome. We have a lot of awesome parent reps that volunteer their time, and we have a great barbecue. We're serving up food, drinks, everything. In terms of admission, $8 per game for an adult. I'm not sure what the student cost is. I believe it might be $4 or $5. We do have season pass available for at the gate as well. It's a little bit of a reduced rate for people who like to buy a season pass. I think we put a great product on the field. I think our players, we have a lot of talented players, and we're pairing guys that are going to be playing at the CIS level in the next couple of years. So we get to see some of these players play that may be playing at university in a couple of years, and eventually maybe some in the CFL. We have a guy that's part of the Sabercats program playing tomorrow night, starting for Edmonton Eskimos. So it's a good chance to see our young talent in the city, and guys maybe playing at the next level very soon. So you definitely appreciate any support we can get from the community.
And Jamie, you can also attach there's an Instagram page to follow as well for the Sabercats, eh?
Yeah, we're easy to find. It's at Sault Sabrecats on Instagram, and we have a Sabercat account for a JV team, just JV Sabercats. Also to mention, right, this Saturday is a big Saturday for football in the Sioux. 1 o'clock JV at Superior Heights. 4 o'clock our guys play, the varsity team against Sudbury. Our JV team plays against Hamilton, and then at Rocky DePietro at 7 p.m. that night, the Sioux Steelers are playing host to the Sudbury Spartans as well. So big football day in the Sioux. I know Coach Premo and I will be attending the Steeler game after, and I know Mr. Taylor Holub next to me will be attending that Steeler game as well because his cousin is the starting quarterback for Sudbury. So a lot on the line there. But before we sign off for the day, right, I just wanted to thank Mike and Taylor for coming on, right, being really good sports, and just wanted to throw it to them one more time. Just any of the guys that talk about some of the guys that are. Mike, I'm going to get you talk about some of the guys in our D line you're looking forward to watching play this season.
I'm looking forward to watch Zach Hattershore, Brandon Southwind, Segan, all the guys. They're all ballers and they can hit pretty hard, and I'm excited to watch them play.
And Taylor, I'll throw it over to you for some of our linebackers and DBs, some of those guys that are we've talked about Joe Trudeau and Lesage, right? Guys that are going to play CIS next year. So maybe some of those other guys that are we haven't already talked about that haven't already signed somewhere that you're looking forward to seeing play again.
I'm looking forward to see Joe Rossel play. He's a little undersized, but he has probably the biggest heart on our team, and he lights up everything. I'm looking forward to see Ethan West play. He started for Superior Heights High School, the senior team this year. He lit it up and like that, so I'm kind of excited to see what he has to do this year coming.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's lots of grade 11 stepping up, right? This is the first year in a while, right? We've had a good mix of 19-year-olds, you guys as our grade 12, 18-year-old group, and then 17-year-olds as our rookies. But again, thanks guys for coming on. Right, I'll pass it over to Dave here for a quick wrap-up.
Like that, of course, as Jamie said, Mike, Taylor, thanks for coming on. And I always like asking, we're on the Game Sports Show Mondays live on radio. We ask people this on the spot. I got to give credit to Scott Nason for this, our board operator tonight, as I stated at the opener of the show. If I was to go on your iPod, Mike and Taylor, or your Spotify, because I'm a Spotify guy now, so it's whatever you have as a music player, what is the last song I'm going to hear? And you got to be honest. If it's Taylor Swift, you got to tell me it's Taylor Swift. I'm going to go to you first, Mike, if you could, right on the spot.
Probably 7 a.m. by Lil Uzi Vert.
Okay. How about you, Taylor?
The last what?
The last song. Last song you listened to.
I just listened to?
Yeah, before you came here.
Probably Under Control by Calvin Harris.
Calvin Harris. Calvin Harris jam.
Yeah, I got to get pumped up before the interview.
I like when you guys are joking off air. Only a certain amount of people to come on. No, not nervous at all. You guys did fantastic. You guys are welcome to come on the show at any time. So I appreciate you stopping by, Mike.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Taylor?
Yeah, thank you very much for having us.
Of course, I'll have you throughout the season if we could. And like I said, throughout the rest of the summer, we're going to have Sabercats executive coaches, and we're going to have players and all that are going to come on the show throughout the summer and promote. And very happy that the Sabercats are part of the Game Sports Show, and more of the local teams in Sault, Ontario, and Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan gets that local touch that people were waiting to hear. And we finally got there. Hey, Jamie here on the Game Sports Show. But listeners, don't go away. We got a little segment still coming up to conclude the show. I know Coach Matt Premo is going to be excited to talk about this. I'm sure Jamie will be as well. We're going to talk about LeBron James, the Cleveland Cavaliers losing to Golden State, and where is LBJ going in the offseason? And the Raptors got a new coach. Yawn or no yawn? We're going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsors. When we come back, that's what we're going to talk about. Me, Matt, and Jamie. Be right back here on the Game Sports Show live at Sportscenter Bar and Grill. The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional sponsor and additional home to the Game Sports Show, Sportscenter Bar and Grill. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, located on 624 Wellington Street West, Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Sportscenter rated top sports bar for the second year in a row. At Sportscenter, enjoy their famous 75-cent wing night along with delicious Molson products on tap, along with a great atmosphere and other great food options available as well. Sportscenter Bar and Grill, the Sioux's best sports bar.
Get Wicked Catering from the crew at the Wicked Sister.
We like to think of ourselves as foodies. While our favorite foods are paired with a beer tasting at the Wicked Sister, you can now have the same creative menu for your next catered business luncheon, family get-together, wedding, or holiday party. Our white truffle risotto appeals to your gluten-free and vegetarian guests. Add sautéed shrimp or freshly grilled chicken for a pop of protein. Or let us build you a custom menu to suit your needs. From plated events of 15 to buffets for 200, the Wicked Sister will cater your event with tapas, snacks, cravables, or a full sit-down dinner.
The Wicked Sister, where you'll be treated like family, whether you like it or not.
Check out our brand new website up and running now at thegamesportshow.com. There you can find past broadcasts of all our shows from the Wicked Sister in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and Boston Pizza and Sportscenter Bar and Grill in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. As well, you can find our brand new t-shirts available for just $25 a shirt. All sizes are available, and proceeds will go towards Northern Critters in Need and Big Brother, Big Sister of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Now you can purchase the shirt by emailing thegamesportshowssm@gmail.com. Please state the total amount of shirts and size needed. They have payment options available, e-transfer, or cash upon delivery, as a shirt can be delivered to your location if you live in the Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and Ontario area, free of charge. TheGameSportsShow.com, where you find all your local, regional, and national sports that you just can't get enough of.
The Game Sports Show would like to thank an additional home to the Game Sports Show, Canadian franchise Boston Pizza. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, located on 601 Great Northern Road, Sault Ste. Marie. Come in and join Boston Pizza for its numerous specials that are offered. After 9 p.m. daily, come in to Boston Pizza for $9 schooners, $4 rail drinks, and delicious food. Boston Pizza, Sault Ste. Marie, you're among friends.
Hi, this is Paul Maurice from the Winnipeg Jets, and you're listening to the Game Sports Show.
Welcome back to the Game Sports Show. It's yours truly, David McCaig, here live at Sportscenter Bar and Grill for the second straight year, rated the Sioux's best sports bar and the home to the Game Sports Show Wednesdays, every second Wednesday for summer, and every Wednesday from September until May. Hopefully that's not too confusing to repeat. I'm sure everyone's got the gist now, the loyal listeners, but it's myself, Dave McCaig, as I mentioned, alongside Coach Matt Premo, alongside Coach Jamie Antonello. I'm still going to call you Coach, even though we're out of the In the Pocket segment, but, you know, it's a habit, and old habits die hard. I think, is that the right term? I think I said it right. Don't want to sound silly here. But, fellas, we're going to jump into, let's say,
a round table discussion, but it's about one sport in particular. Usually here on Wednesdays, we like to spice it up, and we like individuals to bring a topic to our round table, and we're going to save that for another 2 Wednesdays from now, because I just think we have a lot to talk about when it comes to the NBA, and I didn't touch on it in the introduction portion, obviously, because I just feel like that'd be boring if it was just me talking about LeBron James. We want some wide variety of opinions here, or maybe we all have the same opinion, because I have a little bit of a feeling that we all did not really like the NBA Finals, and I'm saying that professionally speaking. So we're going to talk about the NBA, about Golden State and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Golden State literally sweeping Cleveland and trolling Cleveland in their almost said Stanley Cup celebration. Sorry, I still got Ovechkin and the Stanley Cup parade still going on in my head. The guy has, but no, the Golden State when they had their championship parade in Sacramento there it would be, or in Oakland, it'd be in Oakland. So they're third in out of 4 years. They had the Arthur Fist on T-shirts down with the rings on it, trolling LeBron from November on his mood tweet or Instagram picture that what it was on social media. So hatred on Cleveland too did they ever have, and I don't know where that all this is coming from. Maybe it's because they played each other how many years in a row in the finals, right? So let's just say, going to that first, are you surprised Golden State swept Cleveland? One. And secondly, LeBron, broken hand?
Well, one, I can't say I'm surprised considering I predicted it 2 weeks ago. So I have a question for you. Did you watch?
Oh, yes. I had to stick to my word. I did not watch live. I watched the recap, the 25, 30-minute recap on shows and the YouTube summary of it. Giving credit to YouTube there, having the wrap-up show and giving a quick glimpse of the game. I said I wouldn't watch the finals this year if Cleveland and Golden State was there. Got to be a man of my word. I said that I had to follow, and I followed. But I'm much pleased that I didn't watch, except the first game. Kind of wish I would have loved to see LeBron yell at J.R. Smith, but that would have only been a couple seconds there. But
yeah, so that first game was entertaining. I was a little worried after the first game that my prediction was going to be wrong, but then it was pretty much a landslide after that, so I was kind of free and clear. Yeah, so I mean, wasn't too surprised. The whole LeBron broken hand injury. I don't know if it was necessary to put the cast on and go do your post-game interview, but I guess you need an excuse for why maybe he didn't play so good, and it just adds to my hatred for LeBron. So,
you know what? Hatred's a word that we don't say much on this show because we try to keep it out, but we say it when it's within means, and I could not agree more with Coach Matt here. Jamie, over to you.
I just thought the whole thing was hilarious. I mean, JR just one dumb thing. Just
stupid was that play though? Really, out of 10, doorknob of a play.
I mean, if anybody's gonna do it on Cleveland, it's JR though. Let's be real though. Like honestly, and it just catapulted that. If that doesn't happen, Cleveland maybe wins a game or two, at the very least, right? But that just, you want to talk about their bench just disintegrating after something like that happens. First of all, LeBron's like, do we have a timeout? Right? Thought they didn't have any. It turns out they did have one. He's pissed, doesn't talk to anybody for a minute and a half, right? Everything's done at that point, right? You're toast. You're on the road. You go down 0-2, doesn't matter. You go home, you lose game 3, you knew it was done after that.
Now, let me say this. Based on you saying that, the reason why I said we kind of touched on Golden State sweeping, right? Cool, okay, great, yawn. But LeBron James broken hands and all that, I really want to jump into that topic because, dare I say, because I love how people try to compare him to MJ. I got one thing to say about that. Defensive Player of the Year. That's all I have to say. Not just the rings, twice. Thank you. So, does LBJ have that? No, he does not. So, I'm going to say right now, LeBron James doesn't have the leadership. I don't know if it's from a coaching end. You guys can probably give this on a football end. Mine's more of a hockey end, and when it's more of a 5-player game. So is basketball. It's the same thing. Where football is, how many people on the O line do you have in D line? 5. It's 5 on the O line. D line is 4, right? So it's variety. Where hockey, it's repeated 5 players on the ice, including the goalie. Or basketball, it's 5 on the court. Sports are different, but LeBron James, based on his actions, I know JR had a stupid doorknob play, okay, but it happens in the world of sports. And like you said, Jamie, if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be J.R. Smith, okay, or it's going to be James Harden,
I know James Harden's a star, but the guy is silly, okay, the way he acts, so the guy's one of the best players in the NBA, but, sometimes emotions get high on him too. But my whole point of this is LeBron, I don't think, is a leader. I really don't think he's a leader. And when he tries to take over a team, he's so negative and puts his team down. And yes, he's the key that starts that team. He's the engine that revs that team. And when he gets on their bad side, or when he gets them not wanting to play with him anymore, or when he's just not himself, the whole team's done. And that's kudos to him. He's a franchise player. But true leaders, Dirk Nowitzki from the Mavs, Nash when he played with the Mavs. There's guys that led their teams to titles. Tim Duncan, the Spurs had a great team. They were full of leaders. They were leadership guys, and they were good basketball players at that. But, like I said, leader guys. LeBron's leadership, though, is it in question? I feel like he's a guy that cannot be dependent on to be a leader. And I know maybe on the court he's going to play big game, but I feel like he's not that guy that people want to play with. I'm maybe crazy to say that, but I just seeing this and seeing his actions, how big of a suck he is at times, and I'm saying that professionally. Since we have a sports show, I got to keep it as professionally as possible. But I'm saying it's true, though. He does act like a suck. And he has excuses. I got a broken hand. Lanny McDonald played with a broken leg in hockey and still scored, okay? So people play with injuries all the time in sports. The only sport that I see where people flutter is soccer. Sorry, soccer fans. It's true, though, okay? But Preems, I'm going to go over to you. LeBron's leadership.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to question someone's leadership skills, but there are some things you see from the outside looking in, like his body language. The comments he made when he said, I think I'm carrying them enough. In terms of the rest of his team, I just can't get on board with comments like that. I mean, as a teammate, you don't want to hear that. As much as he was carrying them, to publicly say, haven't I carried you guys enough already? I would be a little bit disappointed as a teammate to hear that. So, I understand. I mean, he's the best player on the team. He leads them with the most points, rebounds, assists a lot of nights. But in terms of the leadership sense, there are things I think that he would improve on that I would like to see as a coach's perspective, as a teammate's perspective. Like body language being one. I mean, I would have been frustrated too in the situation that JR was in, but you mean at that time you got to try and maybe pick your teammate up and we still have a chance to win this game, right? As opposed to sulking on the bench. So there are things, it's hard to say what anyone would do in that situation with the NBA championship on the line, but there are some things outside looking in you could critique. So I mean, it is tough. So it's tough to, I mean, I really don't want to say he's not a great leader because he's one of the best basketball players ever play, but there are things that you could definitely put into question. Absolutely.
Jamie, I'd like to get your comments on it. You could have said better body language. That's actually it too. I know, but can't carry the team enough. Like, I'm sorry. Everyone who's in that locker room for Cleveland, sure, they're not on LeBron's level. Heck, there's almost nobody unless you're Steph Curry, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Kobe Bryant, MJ. Those guys are on levels of elite status, but they're still professional ball players. Okay, there's still a level of stature there where they deserve to be there, those guys. So does LeBron have any right to say what he's did with his comments? Does he have too much excuse? Does he own the excuse train? Do we give him the award for the excuse train? Should we start that now on the show? I think I might. Or are Matt and I wrong, Jamie?
No, I mean, like, choo-choo, he's all aboard there.
Yeah.
But,
like it.
I mean, it's, again, like you said, it's tough outside looking in, right? He could be very different in the locker room, right? His relationship could be completely unfazed by his comments there. But I think, like, if I'm Tyronn Lue, like, LeBron is impossible to coach, in my opinion. And I mean, you don't have to do a lot of coaching, like, on the court, right? He's super smart. He understands scheme, all that stuff. You wish he would play defense in the regular season a little bit, but he's very difficult to coach. I feel, and, like, there's guys, like, you brought up Tim Duncan, okay? Greg Popovich, during that run that the Spurs had.
The GOAT himself.
Right? Like, that's crazy dynasty, right? They had 5 championships in like 8 or 9 years. That's insane, right? Like that doesn't happen often, right? That's special. I mean, the Lakers, but the Lakers in that whole time had the whole Kobe Shaq stuff going on, right? And I know you're a Kobe guy, Matt, so like I feel like Kobe would be a million times easier to coach than LeBron. And I might be way off base there. Don't get me wrong, I guarantee there's nights where Kobe is just uncoachable. You can't talk to him, right? He just goes full Mamba and he gets in a mode, and you don't want to coach him, right? And that's boom or bust a lot of the time, right? He's going to take a million shots, but that's full competitor, right? But you would never hear Kobe go on, first of all, go with the cast, right? Blaming everything. Like, I can't get on board with that either, right? I'm a huge MJ guy, so like that stuff just throws me, right? I'll take the coaching, like the Tim Duncan, Spurs, that kind of team all day long.
Yeah, we just got to go back to the video of Kobe shooting free throws with a torn Achilles tendon, and I think prove his toughness right there. But as Jamie mentioned, comparing to some of these other guys, I mean they're great leaders, and everyone leads their own way, so it's all different. But I just want to know if we can start the campaign to get J.R. Smith and Swaggy P on the same team next year, maybe. I mean, these guys are entertaining. If those guys won a championship on the same team, I don't think they'd make it back for the start of the next season.
We thought the summer of Ovechkin was good. Wait till those two win a championship. Oh, my God. Off into the sunset. We'll find him in Mexico 4 years later.
You know, Ovechkin's summer just started, too. That's the funny thing. Okay, and he kicked his wife out of his bed with that Stanley Cup. We're getting off topic with the NBA here a little bit. Now, Dave McCaig alongside Jamie Antonello, Matt Premo here at Sportscenter Bar and Grill. We're talking the NBA here on the third part of the show. Now, LeBron, sticking with that, where does he go? Listen, I'm a Toronto fan. I'm going to say thick and thin in sports. All teams. They just don't have an NFL team. But I'm not a Bills fan. I'm smart, and I'm a Steelers fan. So sorry, Jamie. You switched teams. Should we bring that up? I'm just kidding. We won't bring that up. He switched teams. Anyways, we'll jump to that another time. I'm middle of talking here. I would have switched teams too. Good point. No, but now, reading articles about LeBron James being in the running to go to the Toronto Raptors. Listen. I would love it. Okay, I go run to buy a LeBron James jersey. I actually dislike. Listen, I'm on your train, but just to say that LeBron played for the Raptors. Okay, that's cool. But let's get real here, Toronto fans. And Tim and Sid, sorry, big fan. Dave, yeah, big fan of your show. But I'm just saying, not gonna happen. Okay, and if it does happen, I will eat my words. I'm sorry, I'll run out SportsCenter naked. You heard it here first. I'll stand outside SportsCenter for 25 seconds naked. Okay, I'll have to make an arrangement with Frank Liguori first, and the waitresses here and all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. We might have to see, but that's how confident I am that he's not going to go there. But there's some other teams that are interesting. L.A., the Lakers are always in the running. Golden State, oh my God, Cleveland, of course. Now the one that I like a whole bunch, the Philadelphia 76ers. I am all on board on that, so that's going to say my point. I think LeBron's going to go to Philly. He has Simmons, Joel Embiid. They have young guys. They finished third in the East this year. They gave the Celtics a little bit of a little challenge the second round. They did pretty good. I think with LBJ there, it would push them over the hump. The Raptors, and if anyone believes the Raptors are not going to be in the playoffs next year, you're fried because they have the same team coming back next year. Yes, they have a new coach that we're going to get to a little bit shortly when we conclude the show, but now if they're not going to make the finals next year, LeBron or Toronto, I don't think, in my opinion, but because I think the 76ers are. I think the 76ers are going to get LBJ. I'm going to say that right now, and that's my prediction. The reason is I just think the fit's perfect. Coangelo stepped down probably for a reason to try to salvage that, to try to recruit him. He doesn't want to go to the West because it's too steep unless he wants to go to Golden State or Houston. Houston's interesting as well. I would love to see him go to a team that absolutely sucks. The Knicks, sorry Knicks fans, say that professionally, but imagine going there and absolutely making them lead them to a title. That's the kind of legacy LeBron would have to try to get back to, go back into MJ's category, because he's not even in an MJ category for me, in my opinion. He's like a number 3. I even take Kobe over LeBron any day, in my opinion. So I'm going to go over to you, Coach, in terms of where you think he's going to go, and your opinion as to why. I say Sixers because of the fit and being around those young guys, and because they're already expedited their rebuild process.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. If he's thinking strictly championships and he wants to stay in the East, I think that Philly's the place to go. If he's thinking like market size, I think then LA or Clippers or Lakers, go play in a big market, be the king of LA, you know what I mean, all that. So it really depends what his thinking is. If he's looking for championships, I would lead towards Philadelphia as well. I think it's a great fit. And I know there's talks about Houston and Golden State potentially. I don't know how they're going to make that cap space work there.
I will stop watching basketball.
Yeah, if he goes to Golden State, I will boycott basketball. I will not watch a single NBA game next season if he goes to Golden State. Him going to Miami made me sick. KD going to Golden State made me sick. If he goes to Golden State, I will definitely not watch a single NBA game next season. You heard it here. I think Philly's a good fit. I think the East is a lot easier than the West. I think they got a lot of young talent, so I tend to agree with that. But, I mean, the lights of LA may be calling his name. I don't know.
See, before I go to you, Jamie, I'm going to say flat out, I said on the show a couple years ago that KD was a coward. going to the Golden State to win. Okay, and he did win, and he's sick. Okay, like I'm not going to take that away, but I just think that would be awful. And I will say here, NBA will not be on the Game Sports Show. I will go to my producers, go to my directors. I'll go to who I have to go to get the NBA removed from the show for a full year if LeBron James goes to the Golden State. But now over to you. Where do you think he's going to go? And your explanation as to why.
Holy hot takes here, guys. Wow. I'm loving it.
I'm taking it off the show.
I'm not going to lie. The only thing, I think the Philly thing's great. Just how much does that mean the process is over? If that happens at this point, right? Well, let's talk about it, right? LeBron walks into that building, things are going to change day one, right? We're at the end of the process. We're into the result now, right? That's process over, right? I think that's where we're at. But I think that'd be a great fit. I mean, honestly, I have no clue where he's going to go. If I had to guess, maybe he just stays put, to be fair. I mean, his family's settled there, right? He's from Berea, right? That's his area. I could get him staying there. The frustrations are there for sure, right? You go 3 for 8 in championships at this point, right? You never want to be on that negative side. I mean, you're just happy to be in 8 championships at that point, right? But, I mean, talk to the Buffalo Bills. Now, they're probably pretty upset they went 0 for 4 in Super Bowls in a row. So there's that. But I'm just going to grab my popcorn this offseason, watch, wait for the fireworks to blow up. Wherever he signs, we're going to have 2 months to talk about it, right? And it's going to be entertaining.
I got something for you guys to simmer in where he might go. Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo. I just wanted to say it. I just wanted to say that. Like there's so many teams that are rumored. The Raptors are rumored, for God's sakes. So it seems like everyone's getting LeBron James this year.
Yeah, I mean, Milwaukee potentially is such a small market. I'd have a hard time seeing him go there. But like,
they'd sell out.
Oh yeah, they would sell out. But hey, never say never. And the only thing I would say about the Raptors, they may be rumored. The only thing I could say why is, I mean, he'd be the whole country be going wild over LeBron. I mean, he could. I mean, the jerseys, the sales would be unreal. I think the country. So being king of Cleveland or LA, and he'd be the king of Canada, right? Like he'd be selling jerseys. It would be crazy. So that might be one thing. Who knows? Maybe they take the whole Game of Thrones slant, King of the North. Who knows, man?
Maybe Drake persuades. That'd be amazing. Don't get me wrong. As much as we hate on LeBron, he would put the Raptors into the finals for sure. Because, like I said, I think LeBron was sent back in time in the past to make the Raptors and dinosaurs go extinct. Because he is legit a Raptor and dinosaur killer.
I'm not going to lie, though. I know I'm jumping the gun here. If he does sign in Toronto by some miracle, watching Nick Nurse coach LeBron, I might just cry laughing the whole time.
What would he say to him? LeBron, listen, I know what I'm doing. Like, imagine him saying to some... Yeah, no, LeBron would say, listen, Nick, I got this. You nurse that bench. Listen. Now, that's going to lead us to the next topic, fellas, of the NBA quick. Nick Nurse named the head coach of the Toronto Raptors. The associate coach promoted to head coach. Now, let me ask you this. I'm going to give you guys a coaching perspective on this. It'll be our last discussion before we wrap up the show. That associate coach was under Dwayne Casey for a handful of years, for a long time. He was mentored by Dwayne Casey. Dwayne Casey was fired based on him not being able to win that big game. Now, last I checked, it was the players that get caught not winning that big game. Hello, DeRozan and Laurie. Where the hell were you all playoffs? Sorry. I'm going to say hell. I'm sorry to just to say. I don't know anybody. Baca, Valanciunas, we're going to call him. Like Barkley called him. Not Valanciunas. I'm going to call him Valanciunas until he wakes up and actually plays a hard grit basketball game. So what difference is it to have Casey there or Nurse? For real, what is the difference? Let's say you actually, Jamie, this might be a better example for you. Annette. There's somebody who you watched growing up. Now, I know you're coaching with Matt, right? But fairness, I went to the Dome with you. I saw you were with Annette a whole lot. You probably learned a lot from Annette and absorbed your football knowledge, and now you're taking it and learning from Matt in terms of coaching Sabrecats. Now, if Matt stepped down as coach for whatever reason, personal reasons, they promoted you, you would probably use the same tactics that Matt is using or even Annette that has used, because that is what you have been taught. Now, Nurse has been taught away from Dwayne Casey in this pro level for years. What way does Nick have? What systems does he have in his head that's going to be any better than Dwayne Casey's was? That's my question. I know any coach should be given the opportunity and be given a chance to prove themselves. Sure, I think I'd be a great coach in hockey still. Coached junior hockey in the day. I don't think, but I will admit, I learned under Doug McEwen when it came to hockey. I learned half the stuff I remember is from him. So you learn from people that you've been around. You absorb your knowledge from the game, the people you've been around, captains, leaders. Is this a difference? Is there a difference having Casey or Nurse behind the bench? Should they have won another route? Or are you happy with the promotion? Because to be honest, I'm on the fence. I can't say I'm happy or not because I don't think it's a big change. I don't think it's a step in the right direction, nor do I think it's a step back. I think it still keeps them status quo to where they were 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, you asked me a lot there, but bottom line, like talking about it from our perspective, right? If Matt had to step down and I got promoted, sure, there'd be a lot. I would hope that we would maintain and even exceed, right? We're always looking to grow, right? I mean, Matt and I have been coaching together for 6 years now, right? So a lot of our mentality, and we talk all the time, right? Our game planning, our philosophy, everything, how we run the team is we're all on the same page, right? We have the same goals. We have slightly different coaching styles, right? As our players told us very clearly, they know we do. But bottom line, we want the same things and all that. Unfortunately, like when you get to the point of where coaching is your profession, it's one of the only professions on the planet where getting fired is just completely acceptable, right? That's a normal thing. It's an occupational hazard, right? You expect that if you underperform, right? And unfortunately, it was just one too many losses to Cleveland, I think. They try and shake things up, and you brought it up yourself, Dave. There's always one or two coaches that stick with you, that you remember things, right? And like you said, for me, and it's one of those guys, right? Another one of those guys. Like I have guys from minor football, little things, right? And a lot of it's about like how you are as a person, not X's and O's, right? It's how you are as a person, how you carry yourself. Now, at the professional level, things are different, right? You're not absorbing as much, right? You're not in that growth process. It's not going to stick with you as much, but maybe it does. Maybe there's some little nuance that Nick Nurse brings in where he's the man in charge. He's making all the shots. He's calling everything. That changes things, right? And that's what general managers and owners, that's kind of their hope, right? And I mean, they didn't want to shake things up like crazy because they kept the guy in-house. If they wanted to shake things up, they would have fired everybody, brought in brand new staff, and it's just shock and awe. And that happens with, and that's we'll wait and see, right? I don't think that's Toronto's style. I think they've shown that for the last couple of years. Status quo, bring guys in, get them along, get them going, right? And like they got a good culture going. They just can't beat Cleveland. That's all it is right now, right? More aptly, they can't beat LeBron. But bottom line, I'm kind of the wait and see, right? I hope he figures it out, but I'm not quite sure yet.
Well, you brought up good points there. The Raptors do stay status quo. Look at they have the same roster coming back next year. Same roster, essentially. So, but Preems, go over to you.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm super excited about the hire because I don't think much going to change, right? And I don't know if you can do much more than with what Dwayne Casey did with that team and that roster. Like, what can you do? I mean, and I think someone had to take the fall in the end, and it was the head coach because that's the easiest thing, and that's the way it works out in pro sports, which is kind of unfortunate. I would have hoped they would have kept Casey around for another year because I think he's a great coach. And I think he coached there. I think the Pistons are going to benefit from having him huge. So bringing a guy, so I don't know how much changes, right? He's a guy that's a familiar face, he's a familiar voice. Sometimes you need that change of voice, right? So this guy's been in the organization. Sometimes you need to change of voice to improve. I think at the professional level, a lot of it's how you connect with your players and how do you motivate each single guy. Because every player in your locker room is different. How do you know to motivate each player? Because in the end, these guys are all professional, like super talented. So how do we get them to play together and motivate these guys to play together and play as a unit? So hopefully maybe he does. Maybe he has a different way about him than Dwayne Casey, put him over the hump. But I mean, you can't really argue with what Dwayne Casey did over the last couple of years. I mean, he pushed them to the conference finals, first place in the East last year. Yeah, so I mean, he did a great job. So it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to improve what he did. So maybe this is just a kind of a interim type thing. They know that maybe they're kind of going to be going through a rebuilding phase. So why bringing their next future coach now. Maybe have to fire him, right? So maybe have this guy buy some time while they go through a new rebuilding phase. Maybe they're going to trade some guys in the offseason, rebuild, and then look to bring in a coach that's going to coach the young and upcoming team in a couple of years. So maybe just for a couple of years to buy some time. Who knows what their long-term plan is? I mean, that can all change if they land a couple big names in free agency. Who knows? But we'll see. It'll be interesting to see.
All right, LeBron, JR, and Swaggy P, all to Toronto. Brand new staff. Let's go.
Hire me as the coach, please. I'll sit on the bench. Okay, LBJ, you got this? I'll have a Molson product in my left hand. I'll be known as the alcoholic coach. You know?
LeBron would be the third jersey of the three I would buy.
I like that. But no, like you guys said, it's not a big step forward in terms of what the coach. I would have loved to see Jerry Stackhouse be the guy. That was the guy I was predicting. That's what I wish that was the guy that was going to be the coach. But sometimes, in Toronto sports, we just got to sit back and wait because we've been frickin' doing that for years. No, we're not. The Leafs have been waiting since '67. The Raptors have been waiting since they had the first friggin' tip-off. And the Blue Jays have been waiting since '93. And and the Argos is the only team that's won in Toronto in the last recent year, I think in 2000. That's right. That's right. But point of the story is the Argos won. But three big teams will say, sorry, Argos. TFS, TFC, TFS. Oh my God!
I was gonna say, can't you guys tell Dave's a soccer guy?
TFC. And speaking of soccer, FIFA World Cup. And I'm gonna go ask you guys right now before we close out the show, who wins the World Cup? I'm gonna go out and say right now, because believe it or not, Jamie, I do follow soccer. I just said TFS because the grocery shop store. But TFC. I'm going to go Argentina is winning the World Cup. Jamie, I'll go to you next.
Russia.
Wow, they just win everything this year. Ovechkin's getting a parade, and God.
I just found out that USA wasn't in the World Cup today, so but I did see that Germany was ranked second, so let's go with Germany. Safe, yeah.
Like that little upset. I don't think Mexico is making the Final Four, nor is Portugal. Flat out telling you right now. And Italy, guess what? Spoiler alert, they're not there. Also not there. Little Sault Ste. Marie might not be watching the World Cup the FIFA World Cup because probably specific end, which will be mine. I'm in the East End now, but I feel I'm West Side still. Just saying. Well, Maddie, Jamie, I'm gonna let you guys go. I appreciate you guys waiting for me tonight as I got held up in a night that I didn't know was going to take as long. I promise, Preems, I'm not this late. It's only 15 minutes late once in a while. But we won't be here next week because we're on a summer schedule. We'll be here the following Wednesday. You guys will have a couple games under your belt by then. We'll have some updates, have some players on hopefully by then as well. Let Jamie spearhead that for getting the players on, or yourself, Matt, because obviously bringing you on the show on a regular basis beyond the summer events, what I want to telling you on air that I'm saying that, but end of the day, we'll get some guys on throughout the whole entire summer and be good to promote them. I liked Mike and Taylor. They were great guys. I look forward to meeting the rest of the guys. I want to say thank you to you guys for coming on by tonight.
Appreciate it. Glad to be back and looking forward to being on for the rest of the summer. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Jamie?
Yeah, keep on rolling, man.
Keep on rolling as we always do. And I can't forget our T-shirts. I'm not wearing the Game Sports Show T-shirt right now, but you can purchase this T-shirt for $25 on the website, www.thegamesportshow.com. You go to the merchandise tab, pretty simple, follow the directions, click the email, and state the size and the amount of shirts you need. You can do an e-transfer, or we can pay cash when we deliver it to you. And we deliver in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and Sault, Michigan. Get that? I will deliver to Sault, Michigan. However, if you're beyond those borders, we will be shipping out to you, and you will have to cover the shipping costs, unfortunately. But we will make sure to match your shipping costs to go towards charity. Found out that today, that's a little arrangement that we have with our sponsors, that if you have to pay a shipping cost, we will cover that for you, and you will get your shipping costs covered, and that shipping cost will go towards the two charities, Northern Critters Need and Big Brother Big Sister. And don't forget, like I said at the beginning, Justin Heichel
will be at PetSmart this Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. supporting the Game Sports Show t-shirts. Go on by. They're going to have pictures of dogs on there. They're going to have dogs there. They're going to have toys you can get for your stuff. So Northern Critters in need, that part of the 50% of the donation that goes towards. You can go to PetSmart. You can go talk to Justin there and also get information about the t-shirts as well. Follow the show on thegamesportshow.podbean.com. the Scott Nason YouTube channel, Instagram at The Game Sports Show SSM as well. And don't forget, tomorrow, myself, Brad Cochimilio, and Justin Heiko are at Boston Pizza, along with a special guest that we hope to have on. We've been planning to get Brian Rust on tomorrow live on location. We're trying to work that out. It might have to wait till a week after because we've been getting in touch late. We also have, hopefully, Lane Burton coming on as well, who's the guy that predicted the Stanley Cup Final, February 8th edition of The Game Sports Show, and the winner. And the Conn Smythe winner. So I got to give him a little bit of credit. And I told him if he gets on, I got to get him on right away so he can brag in my face and Justin and Brad's face. So we have a good show tomorrow night. We'll be at Boston Pizza at 9:30, 9 o'clock. That is the plan. If it's any earlier, Instagram will let you know. There was tentative plans of being there at 8. But either way, we will be on time tomorrow. I promise you that. So on behalf of Scott Nason, the board operator, on behalf of Sportscenter Bar and Grill, Frank Ligori, Matt Premo, and Jamie Antonello, it's Dave McCaig here from Sportscenter Bar and Grill signing off. And to all out there, keep your stick on the ice, drain your threes, catch your touchdown, and shoot your shots. Booyah.